Hello everyone and welcome back to another day of Road to TCG Worlds 2017. Now today we are going to be featuring Mega Mewtwo Wobbuffet with a 1/1 Espeon-GX deck. Garbodor seems to be losing popularity in the format. There are decks that still run it, but the CGI Valplum has an answer in B-Drill. Sometimes you're heavily punished for playing the Garbodor down, as they can Lysander it up and use B-Drill to remove the float stone, and then you struggle to retreat it. So Garbodor has been on the down low. Wobbuffet seems to now be the Pokemon of choice to limit opponents' abilities and your own, but obviously that's not on purpose and you get them back once you retreat. So Mega Mewtwo is a really big powerhouse. It can deal with Volcanion even without Garbodor. It just struggles a bit more. The matchup becomes a little bit more even. I still think Mega Mewtwo is favored because ironically it takes less, it doesn't take less resources to one give a Volcanion, or I guess it does. I don't know, I mean, Mega Mewtwo just hits like a truck. So let's review the deck really quickly. This is my preferred version of Mega Mewtwo. I know Mega Mewtwo got top 8 at Utah Regionals. The top cut is being played right now as I'm recording this. Yesterday, Gyarados almost made top cut. Right now I know it didn't make cut. One Mega Mewtwo did make cut, but it was playing as I was typing, as I'm recording this, so I don't know how it ended, and I have no information on the list. But I would there's not that much variation between the Mega Mewtwo's currently. You want a really consistent list, so I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't running Garbodor. I did not see Garbodor get mentioned, and if his list looks something like this. It might have a 4/4 Mewtwo line instead of a 1/1 Espeon-GX, but I don't think there would be anything too different. So Mega Mewtwo, 210 HP, really high number. Psychic Infinity, 10 plus 30 more damage times the amount of energy attached to Mega Mewtwo and your opponent's active Pokemon. So it's really easy to KO powered up threats, which that's what Mewtwo specializes on. It doesn't like going up against unpowered Pokemon, because then you have to commit a ton of energy and you might get punished by a Mewtwo from Evolutions or a Lugia or something like that. So you really want to target opposing Pokemon which are already powered up, hopefully through a Lysander before they actually come up to attack you, but sometimes that's not possible. We also have the utility of damage change from the basic Mewtwo EX. You get to move all damage counters off of Mewtwo or Mega Mewtwo onto your opponent's Pokemon. That allows you to not lose against random things like Regice or Glacian, and it can also punish your opponents who don't want to KO you. So it's a really good alternative strategy to the just all-out attacking move of Psychic Infinity. We have the 1/1 Eevee and Espeon-GX line. This gives you another answer to Giratina. Gives you access to a GX attack with Divide GX, and therefore bench damage to potentially finish something off. And it's also great in the mirror with Psybeam and Psychic. So pretty good attacker, pretty beefy, and you can search it out immediately through Eevee, so that's pretty cool. And then we have the 2/1 Hoopa Shaymin, or 2/1 Shaymin Hoopa rather, and we have the 2 Wobbuffets. Now Wobbuffet is pretty much here exclusively because of item lock. TCG Valplum, as we saw in Utah, is still very popular and still a very big threat, and therefore Wobbuffet allows you to keep playing your item cards such as Verseekers, such as Ultra Ball, such as Trainer's Mail, and such as Mega Turbos, in order to keep up your damage output going. You could run 3, I think 2 is okay, like you will eventually find it, so you should be okay with that. 2 Wobbuffet seems pretty ideal to try and counter the CGI Valplum decks. I myself, and you will see in tomorrow's video, used an Umbreon Wobbuffet deck to win a League Cup on Saturday. I will talk more about that tomorrow, in tomorrow's video. And 2 Wobbuffet felt more than enough in my testing. In the tournament I didn't play, against a single Decidueye Vileplume, it's losing well, it's not losing popularity. It wasn't popular. There were 3 of us playing it. I switched to the Umbreon deck. One of the players didn't show up. 2 others picked the deck up, but they didn't do well, so in the end Wobbuffet wasn't too helpful yesterday, but I still would keep the card in the deck, and I would play it definitely in Mega Mewtwo. Aside from that, we have the 4-3-2 Sycamore and Lysander. We have one Hex Maniac to further aid us in countering Decidueye Vileplume, but also to keep to try and keep Volcanion in check just a little bit more. You could play a second Hex Maniac instead of one of the Wobbuffets. That's definitely a viable strategy. Like, you could go down to 1 Wobbuffet and 1 Floatstone, and therefore put in a second Hex Maniac and potentially a 4th Trainer's Mail. That's definitely an okay trade-off, or even a 7th energy, because as you can see, we are down to 6 basics and 4 special. Aside from that, we have the more consistency for Mega Turbo, for Berserker, for Ultra Ball, 3 Trainer's Mail, 4 Spirit Links, 3 Floatstone, pretty much exclusively for the Wobbuffet and the Hoopa, I guess, but especially the Wobbuffet, and the 1 Super Rod to recover resources, energy, Pokemon, whatever we end up discarding off of the Sycamores. So that's the deck. Let's jump into the ladder. Apparently I won a game and I logged out too quickly before I could get my 2 Ultra Ball rewards. And I was just thinking, I've been playing a bit of Hearthstone lately, and I'm gonna be honest, I think the dust system, like a lot of you guys won't know what I'm talking about, but I think the dust system that Hearthstone has is amazing, and that would be really cool to see in the Pokemon trading card game online, because how many of you or how many of us don't have like this one common bacon card? We have like 17 of them, and we have 15 regular versions. Wow. And then we have like 8 locked versions. So I mean, you're never gonna need more than 4 of a card in this in the Pokemon trading card game, other than energy, obviously. So, or I mean, besides trading, but I think they should implement a system where if you have 4 or more of a certain locked card, you should be able to redeem those, like have every common be worth 5 Pokeballs or whatever you wanna call it. Have every uncommon be worth 10, every rare 20, and then every GX or EX or whatever at different amounts. And by doing that, you'd actually be able to redeem those Pokeballs then for other cards you do need. I think a system like that would be absolutely incredible for Pokemon to implement. We seem to be up against Yveltal Dark, right? I mean Yveltal Garb. So I really doubt I'm gonna need the Espeon. So I'm gonna discard that and the Psychic. I'm discarding the Psychics pretty much freely, just because I know. Well, I guess I should have kept Ultra Ball. Just because I have the 4 Mega Turbos, so I should be good there. Kind of don't want to attach a TCE to Hoopa to retreat, because I should have the 3 TCEs. The 3 Floatstone rather. If my opponent gets a Floatstone here and promotes the Yveltal, that'd be okay as well, as long as I find a Mega. Sure, he would trap the Hoopa, but I could attach the TCE and retreat, so it would be no big deal, and I'd be able to 1-hit KO the Yveltal back, which would be awesome. My opponent does go for Tauros, that's fine. We already have Mega Turbos, or access to Mega Turbos. We have a TCE. So as long as we don't see, and there's a Floatstone, as long as we don't see an Enhanced Hammer, which we don't, that is great. I actually top decked the Floatstone, which would have been awesome the previous turn. But that's okay. I'm just gonna attach so that I can retreat and keep the float stone for later. And I do find the Ultra Ball in order to be able to knock that Yveltal out. So we are good here. We are definitely good. I'm gonna discard the Lysander, so I have access to it in the later stages of the game. That might be a mistake, but I feel like my opponent will just promote Taurus in the next turn, and I will just have to search for a Mega Turbo. Oh, whoops. I forgot, whoops. I just assumed I was gonna KO the Yveltal. That's my bad, but that's okay. It's just gonna take us an extra turn to do so. Now discarding the TC seems very silly. Okay, that's a problem. Okay, I should have kept the Lysander then. I definitely should have kept the Lysander. Okay. Not great. Not great, guys. That was my bad. That was definitely my bad. That's okay though. We can get out of this position next turn. I'll just evolve here. It's no big deal. I could have fenced the Wobbuffet with the float. Definitely. Next turn I can Lysander, knock out the Yveltal DX. And then he will most likely not be able to KO my Mega Mewtwo, and then I can just play the Stadium to damage swap. So I should be good. Oh gosh. Is he really gonna Verse Seeker attack my Mega? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. He doesn't KO though. That's okay. Wait, does he KO? Oh, he does. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Man. Perfect cards for my opponent. Perfect cards, but we just need 1 energy to KO the Yveltal DX, so it's not that big a deal. I have lost a ton of them. 4 and 2. Okay, so I don't have that many energy left. But I should have 4 Mega Turbo. So we should be good here. I'm not gonna play the Stadium just yet. I will Shaymin, however, for 3 extra cards, because I really want an energy. Okay, we're not gonna get an energy or a Mega Turbo, so I guess I will play that. I'll play 1 Spirit Link, and I really don't want to Sycamore away this, so I will end. Yeah, I've been playing, I'm not gonna say badly, but I've been making like very silly mistakes right now. I find the Stadium once again, which is awesome. I'm gonna keep the DCE in my hand, just in case he tries to Lysander trap me once again. And here I have the knockout, right? Yeah, and just in case he has like an enhanced hammer or something in his new hand, that's okay. We really should be okay here. We don't have Lysander to potentially get KOs. Yeah, that Yveltal is annoying. Versus Seeker into Lysander, okay. He will Lysander the Wobbuffet, that's fine, because he retreats, Wobbuffet shuts down Yveltal's ability, so we can actually free retreat. If he wanted to trap us, he should have promoted the Shaymin. Now the issue here is that Yveltal. The issue is definitely that Yveltal, so I'm kind of feeling this, the damage swap. Kinda, not really. I mean, I do want to take a knockout here. I will bench the Mewtwo, however. And I will just Psychic Infinity. Hopefully my opponent just attacks into the Mega Mewtwo. Well, he probably won't, unless he finds himself a Parallel. And even if he does, he might still not do that. What I need though is to... Okay, we see a Berserker for Sycamore. Okay, so a Lysander plus DCE, I mean a Max Elixir plus DCE would mean he gets to knock us out. Thankfully though, that's not very likely, I would say. He's already used 2 DCEs and 2 Max Elixirs. And he decides to retreat into the Taurus. Will he attack into us, or will he simply pass? I mean, we can knock out the Taurus, but if I'm gonna go for that play, okay, the Train's Mail pretty much guarantees that we're gonna find a Berserker, which makes me really happy. So I can, because after Shaymin, I mean, so I can Mega Turbo, I can attach the DCE, and sure, I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. There's a Berserker. I am putting all my eggs in one basket, pretty much, but my opponent doesn't have a big threat for next turn. Like, I'm very low on resources at this point. I kinda do think I should try to find the Mega right here. But it's very unlikely my opponent will be able to knock me out. Very unlikely. I don't want to get rid of the energy. I will, however, get rid of the Stadium and the N to grab the Mega, which is prized, which I should have known. There's still a Mega Turbo. Okay, so 1 Mega is prized. The Super Rod is prized as well, I think. But we're gonna get 2 prize cards here, so we have a 66% chance to find the Mewtwo. And there's the Super Rod and the Mega, so we can even put energy back if we really need to, so it's no big deal. There's no more DCs, there should be 1 Mega Turbo. We have the energy, we have the Mega Mewtwo, we have the Super Rod to put back energy. We are good here. We are actually good. Has the Max Elixir, whiffs it even. Gets a DCE, plays down a Shaymin. I mean, I guess he can find Elixir and Ninja Boy to knock me out. That would be his play. That would be his play. But it's very unlikely, I would say. Very unlikely. And there we go. There we go. So yeah, we struggled a little bit. That Fright Night Yveltal definitely caused us trouble. But that was more because of my carelessness than anything else. If I had not forgotten that, like I knew he shut down the Float Stone, I completely forgot he shut down the Spirit Link as well, which was really bad. That would not happen in a tournament, I promise you guys. But yeah, it still worked out. And if I, like in a tournament, I would not have discarded the Lysander, I would have just Lysandered, KO'd the Yveltal EX, then he would have attacked me, I would have been fine. Okay, so Hoopa started the previous game, Shaymin started this game. And wow, a lot of resource discard. And it seems like we're up against Lapras, which makes me happy, honestly. Makes me actually happy to see. It is Lapras for sure. It is definitely Lapras. And we'll see. Okay, so I get 2 mulligans, which don't really help me, but hopefully, yeah, that's what I was looking for. Hopefully they bring me closer to an Ultra Ball, which is awesome. And now I have to make a decision here. I'm gonna get rid of the DCE, or rather the energy, and the Espeon. I mean, Confusion seems good against that deck, but I think I really want the Floatstone. I'm in no hurry, honestly. I am in no hurry. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of the Espeon. And I can't find the Hoopa, yeah. I just want to prevent a weird scenario. Okay, so I will Hoopa here for 2 Mewtwo's. And do I have the Super Rod? I don't. Is it in my hand? It's not. Okay. So I'm gonna grab the Mega Mewtwo, but I'm probably going to end up evolving the benched one. The benched Mewtwo. I'm gonna promote one Mewtwo, but I'm gonna evolve the benched one. I'm gonna attach the DCE to Sky Return. I'm gonna attach the Floatstone right there. And I will not Sky Return this turn. Wow. Oh boy, I'm getting way too ahead of myself. Okay, Steam Skull Grunt fails, which is perfect. He will collect Crushing Hammer. Does get heads. Okay. That's okay. That was so silly of me. I assumed, which I should not have. I just assumed I was gonna Sky Return. Why? I have no idea, but I wrongly assumed that. Let's pull for another Lapras. That's fine. What we need to do is just play around the GX attack. We just have to be able the biggest Lapras to prevent an Ice Beam GX. It's really all we have to do. Here, perfect. That top deck is perfect. I lose a Berserker. That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna grab a Wobbuffet so that I can thin out my deck. I'm gonna keep the Eevee just in case I do want to use the Espeon later on through the Super Rod. And I get to use up both of my Mega Turbos here, which is great, not so great. It's okay. Okay, so there's no threat of the Ice Beam GX attack, right? There's no threat of that. So I'm gonna attach and retreat, and I'm just gonna damage the Lapras. No need to play my stadiums, no need to allow him to delinquent me, and I get no benefit from using the stadiums right about now. We do see a 50-50 card. That's cool. Now that Lapras on the bench is the threat right here. Everyone does end me, so that means we might be able to come closer to the Lysander. That's what we really want, to attach a DC and knock out that Lapras. Looks like we're not gonna be able to do that unless the Ultra Ball finds us the Shaymin, and the Shaymin finds us the Lysander and a few energy, because okay, so my opponent has flipped a single heads right here. Single heads, so the next one should be heads, and for his Crushing Hammers, and that would be average. I would be okay with that. And here, this is where I really don't want to evolve just yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna search for the Shaymin, and I only deal 100 damage right here, so I need one more energy. I guess if I lose one Mega Mewtwo, that's fine. Yeah, just to make sure I have the best odds of drawing the energy. Yeah, we're good here. We are good. We find another Mega Turbo, which we can use. But I feel like I'm better off saving those for maybe the later stages of the game. So I'm gonna attach the DCE and I'm going to end my opponent. He did collect, so I reduced his hand size by 1. I'm happy with that. And yeah, this Mega Mewtwo is gone, that's for sure. Because he's gonna promote this guy and Espeon-GX. It's really not a big deal though, I think. Okay, I'm gonna play the Float Zone down and I'm gonna play a Spirit Link as well. Yeah. To KO that, yeah, KOing that Lapras is gonna be a bit more difficult, I would say. Just a little bit more difficult, but that's fine. It's just Psychic Infinity for the knockouts. And we get our 2 prize cards. If my opponent doesn't end or judge me, I feel like we should be okay. Well, actually no. Should have played the Mega Turbo onto the bench, the Mega Mewtwo. That's what I should have done. That is actually what I should have done. My opponent has not been finding the Fighting Fury belt though, which is great news for us. He does end us, so we lose the Mewtwo Spirit Link we wanted. And wow, double Mega Turbo plus a basic Psychic. Just in case. Just in case. Okay. Rough Seas, no big deal. Enhanced Hammer, that means my opponent did not find. Wow. That means my opponent did not find an energy. That's pretty surprising. Okay. Can I find a Lysander here? No, I cannot. What I can find, however, is a Shrine of Memories. Or an N. If I use Shrine of Memories, I get to knock the Wobbuffet out. If I use N or Sycamore, I lose my Mewtwo, I lose at least 1 Mega Turbo. And I don't even get to knock out the Wobbuffet. So I'm gonna play the patient game. I'm gonna play this. And I'm gonna use Shatter Shot because Shatter Shot does apply weakness. Yeah, that's pretty good. And we get the Sycamore. Wow, we are getting dealt just the absolute best hands here. Okay, so there's a Fighting Fury belt on the bench. Lapras GX, interestingly enough. Verseeker for, I would reckon, another N, unless my opponent, he didn't see me play anything. So he might suspect I don't have a good hand. He's gonna play a Team Skull Grunt, that's okay. We're gonna lose an energy, it's really no big deal. It's really no big deal. And he goes for the Espeon-GX attack. Sure, that nets him a KO, but he actually has no follow-up. I'm gonna play both Mega Turbos onto the benched Mega Mewtwo. And it's all about spending your resources wisely here. It really is. We even top deck another Sycamore, which is pretty ironic. And now, okay, so we do find a DC. I will attach this one, just because he could Team Skull Grunt away both of them. But it's very unlikely that he will Team Skull Grunt and Enhance Hammer off of a single card. And he has to attack into me. He definitely has to. Okay, so he versus Seekers for N. Perfectly fine. No Team Skull Grunt means we get to keep our energy. So yeah, you kind of, it's like you want to draw your energy, but you also don't want to draw it because of the Team Skull Grunt. And my opponent does go for the Blizzard Burn. That's perfectly fine. We're just gonna KO back with a 5 energy Mewtwo. I don't need this. I don't need to attach this energy for the knockout. I even find a DC, which is awesome. And okay, so because of that top deck, I will attach the energy. And I mean, I have one card in my hand. He can't Lysander and Delinquent, right? So if he Delinquents, my Mewtwo stays active and deals a ton of damage. If he Team Skull Grunts, my Mewtwo just knocks out whatever he has. If he Lysanders to try to stall, I have the TCG to retreat, either the Mewtwo or the Wobbuffet, and if he ends, I will not draw the Mewtwo or the Wobbuffet. So I think playing them down is a good choice. And I just Psychic Infinity here for the knockouts. 2 cards, Super Rod and Floatstone, great cards to see off of the prize cards. And yeah, my opponent's best bet is to Lysander, but we did that on purpose. We benched Pokemon that he can easily Lysander on purpose because we have the TCG to retreat, and there's nothing he can do about it at this point in time. Team Skull Grunt means he doesn't Lysander. Lysander means he doesn't Team Skull Grunt, and as you can see, we have the Floatstone and we have the TCG to immediately retreat. So there's absolutely no way my opponent can. And he even goes for the Sycamore, so it's not gonna be either one or the other. Puzzles, like playing puzzles and getting back, I guess, a ton of energy, or rather, and getting back like the Enhanced Hammer and the... yeah, so he just attacks. There was just no way. And there's the victory, yeah. There was just no way for my opponent to win that one. We conserved our resources pretty well. We walked into an Ice Beam GX, that's fine. Walking into those, you can plan ahead for those in order to compensate. Like, you just know you're gonna trade off one of your Pokemon for his, so it's okay. And yeah, that's Mega Mewtwo, guys. Pretty good week we're having so far. Tomorrow we get to see the Umbreon list I used to go undefeated at a League Cup over the weekend, and I will also be writing a report, a detailed report for my 6 prizes article coming out on the 14th, so check that out. It will be underground, so like it has a paywall, so if you guys want to read it, I definitely recommend subscribing to 6 prizes because it's a great site to get articles and get up to date with the lists and the format and the metagame and everything. I write there, so you will be seeing content from me there. And that's gonna be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Umbreon. Leave a like if you can, really helps out the channel. Check out my Patreon if you could, that would be amazing, because YouTube revenue is declining because they're dealing with a lot of commercial issues. And yeah, thank you guys so much for your support. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.